Let me tell you about the worst day of my life. And it's always going to be the worst day of my life. I was governor of Virginia in April of 2007 when I got the word that there had been a horrible shooting at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. And I went to the campus and went into a room next to where we were going to hold a memorial service to meet with the 32 families who had lost loved ones and the dozens of families whose kids and relatives had been horribly injured. And their faces are just like swimming before me now. These kids cut down in the prime of their lives, 18 and 19-year-olds, up to a mid-70-year-old Romanian Holocaust survivor, Liviu Librescu, an engineering professor who had survived the Holocaust as a Romanian Jew. He had survived the Soviet takeover of his country, where he had been frozen out of academic positions because of his views against the Soviet regime. He had survived that, but he was cut down in a hail of bullets in Blacksburg, Virginia, as he was barring the door to help his students get out the window so they would be safe. Survive the Nazis, survive the Soviet takeover of his country, and cut down in gun violence in this country. Well, we learned a lot from that shooting at Virginia Tech. We learned that we needed to make mental health advances, and we did. We learned we needed to make campus security advances, and we did. But we also learned that the background record check system didn't work, and the better system you have, the better it works and the safer that people are. Sung Wee Cho, the shooter in that case, should have been barred from buying a weapon because he'd been adjudicated mentally ill and dangerous, but because of weaknesses in the system, he got a weapon anyway. The powerful lesson: the better the background record check system, the safer people are. We learned to our detriment, just as the horrible victims and their families in Charleston learned the same lesson recently, because that shooter shouldn't have been able to get a weapon either. So we're here to start a national movement around a couple of principles, and one of them is make the background record check system stronger. There's 9 categories of people who are prohibited by federal law from having weapons, and the only way it works, the only way we can keep weapons out of the hands of felony, those who've convicted felonies or terrorists or those who are abusers or stalkers or those who are adjudicated mentally ill and dangerous, is to have a background record check system that works. And that's what we're here standing for. Last thing I'll say is this: this should be so easy. The American public overwhelmingly support background record checks. Gun owners like me overwhelmingly support background record checks. NRA members overwhelmingly support background record checks. The NRA, which is headquartered in Virginia, here's some of their principles. Don't take guns away from the law-abiding. Just keep guns out of the hands of those who shouldn't have them. That's what background record checks does. The NRA says, don't pass new laws, just enforce existing laws. That's what background record checks do. That's why this is so important, that we have a national movement calling on Congress to do not the hard thing, but the easy thing, to keep our communities safer.